Today we're looking at how you can grow your roofing business so that it's sustainable and you keep growing and you don't hit hurdles, and so you can grow more profitably. So the first thing to keep in mind is you're going to need a bookkeeper, and one of the best tips I can give you is get a bookkeeper who's on point, who gets things sorted for you quickly and who doesn't stuff you around. Now, the rest of your paperwork, it can be a mess because as you grow, as you scale, you find you've got more paperwork and less time to do it. And there comes a point where your wife or partner is sick of doing it, and it creates a lot of conflict for you. So the basics, you want to find streamlined ways of doing it that don't cost the earth. So things like getting all your bills paid on time, pretty important. You can do that if you have, say, 1 day a week where you do your online banking and you pay all your bills. Things like invoicing people. You got to get those invoices out ASAP, even every day, so that on the day you've completed the job, that's when people get invoiced. And that's time consuming, and that's where a bookkeeper comes in, saves you time, and actually they don't miss things like most people would. A bookkeeper's trained to not miss anything, so they're going to get the job done, and it doesn't cost you time, and especially it doesn't cost you stress. Another thing is make sure that your personal and work bank accounts are separate. Here's my different credit cards. One's for one business, one's for another business, and one is for my personal stuff. The reason you want separate cards because when you pay for something using the right card, it means the right bank account got charged. It's going to streamline and simplify your bookkeeping and your accounting. It's going to save you money at tax time. Also, we all need to know what our break-even formula is. And so when you think of, as a roofer, your break-even's not just the money you get, it's the money you get minus all your expenses. So your workers' comp and your roofing materials and your equipment and your staff wages, all that stuff comes out of it. So you need to know ahead of time, how much do you need to make in revenue each year, each month, and each week? Because once you start to focus on those numbers, everything becomes easier, and you stop taking on low margin work and you start taking on more profitable work when you understand those numbers. And if you're having trouble with that, get in touch and I'll help you out with that. Also, cash flow. Now, you can't scale your business while you've got $1 sitting in your account. You'll find that, especially in the roofing trade, you're lumpy income. One moment you've got a heap coming in, next moment there's nothing because you're waiting for a few jobs to be finished. Well, your cash flow is you knowing how much is going to be on your account, on a particular date in the future. So you need to know 2 weeks from now, roughly, we should have X amount in the account. And then a month from now, we should have X amount. And 6 months from now, we should have that much money. And if you don't know those numbers, well, that's where you've got to get a bookkeeper to help you work it out, because otherwise you're going to run out of money at the time you need it. You're going to find, it's quarterly BAS time or PAYG time or whatever, and you don't have the money there. That's a problem. Now, do you need a bookkeeper or do you need an accountant? The truth is most small businesses need both. If you're, especially if you've got a couple of staff, you definitely need a bookkeeper, because if you have a look at this screen here, a bookkeeper is going to charge you about $70 an hour. An accountant's going to charge you about $300 an hour. Now, most bookkeepers work really efficiently, really fast, and what might take your accountant, say 15 hours to do, your bookkeeper can do the first 10 hours of that at a much cheaper price, which only leaves 5 hours for the accountant to do. Saves you so much money. A good bookkeeper should pay for themselves. That's why I'd say you need both a bookkeeper and an accountant. Now, if you get financially stuck, what are your options? As you scale, you will hit times where you get financially stuck. I've never met someone who hasn't. First thing is, have you chased all the overdues? People owe you money and it's sitting in their account, but you've done the work and they've got their roofing. Where's your money? Chase them up. Now, if that's a bit confronting for you, a bit emotionally, I don't want to do that, pay your bookkeeper to do that. I know that as a bookkeeper, any accounts that, not all of our clients want us to chase up their overdues, but a lot of them do. If an account gets to 7 days when it's due and we haven't heard from them, we're like, this is looking a bit of a worry. We wait till the 10th day and then we send an email and a text message. Some people just forgot, that's life. But if we don't get a response by the 14th day overdue, then the 14th day after doing the work, so it was due at 7 days, we've chased them up on the 10th, no result from a text and email, they get a phone call on the 14th day. Just a gentle friendly call. Hey, is everything all right? Have you received your invoice? Is there anything you need so that you can go ahead and pay that? Because if you don't chase your overdues, you are going to get stuck. Okay, so first thing to check is, have you chased your overdues? Also, have you invoiced everyone? It's another big one. Sometimes people haven't actually done all their invoicing, got that up to date. And then failing that, you can talk to the ATO about delaying some of the payments you make to the ATO. The ATO is fairly reasonable the first time you call them. It's a time-consuming phone call. It's probably an hour on the phone, but they're fairly reasonable. If you call them twice, they're less friendly. Okay, so there's easier ways, but the ATO is someone you can set a payment plan up with. Another thing is you can talk to your suppliers and say, hey, I'm struggling here. I'll be good again come the 31st of the month. Can I put some stuff on credit till then? Because your suppliers don't want you going out of business, because if you go out of business, then you don't buy from them. Now, another thing, this is sort of funny, people treating their business like it's an ATM, and they'll pull money out of their business as soon as they see, you know, their account hit 60,000 or 130,000 or whatever that magic number is to them. It's like, no. It's not about how much money's in your account now. It's about what are the expenses that needs to pay for. If you've only got, say, if you've got 130,000 in your account, but you've got 110,000 worth of expenses, well, you don't have 130,000 to play with. You've only got 20,000 to play with. So you need to understand how your cash flow works in your business, and don't just pull money out just because you need it. Pull money out when it's sensible. Another thing is, if you need a hand with your bookkeeping, Joel and I, that's my friend Joel and I, we love helping people. We love making life easier for them. We're actually doing a free 20-minute on the phone or on Zoom consult to help you work out, what do you need? Because most people, they don't know what they need. And we're happy to help you work out, what do you need? And it could be us who helps you, or in the long term, it could be someone else, but we're happy to help you work out what you need. Big thing is, get those invoices out immediately. Now, as you get more and more jobs, then that might mean invoicing even daily, because if you complete the job today, you want to invoice today. Now, there's a couple of things with that. One is, if you invoice someone today, it tells them you're serious about getting paid. And the best way to invoice someone is while you're still on site. And there's software like, say, your ServiceMate or your Xero plugins that let you invoice people right then and there. That's great. Also, make sure that you're only giving 7-day terms. Anything beyond that, and people are starting to stuff you around. 7 days is reasonable. More than that is not. Okay, so you want to invoice on the day. And the other thing is, I meet people all the time who haven't invoiced for work that they did a month ago or 2 months ago because they just keep putting it off. If you have to take a day off work to get your paperwork in order, so be it. But get those invoices out to people. Even better, get a bookkeeper to do it for you, because a bookkeeper's not going to stuff up your invoicing. They're going to be on it, or at least if they're decent, they're going to be on it. They're going to not let money slip through your fingers that is rightfully yours. Overdues. You and I both know it's very hard to collect money from people if you invoice them late. So invoice them ASAP, and then as soon as it becomes overdue, don't sit around going, oh, that's an awkward conversation on the phone, I don't want to have it. It's like, no, that's your money sitting in someone else's account. That's a phone call that needs to happen. And if you don't want to make that phone call, get your bookkeeper to make it. So the way I would recommend is you'd have, say, 7-day payment terms. It gets to the 7th day, they haven't paid, not looking good. Gets to the 10th day, because you don't know if they paid on the 7th day. If they did pay on the 7th day, the bank might stuff you around for a couple of days. But if it gets to the 10th day and you haven't received the money, then that's when you send a text message and an email. Because people read their texts, and email they may or may not read, but email's much better for getting the invoice reminder out to them. But that way you've been clear with them. They can't have missed both. And then if it gets to the 14th day, that's when a phone call is due. And then they should be getting a phone call once a week until they pay. That's how we do with overdues, and that's how I'd recommend anyone else do with overdues, and it takes a lot of drama off your plate. Long story short, don't let them get overdue, but if they do get overdue, get onto them. Face the pain of dealing with overdues, because it's better than the pain of not having money in your account when you need it. Also, if you haven't yet liked and subscribed, I would invite you to like and subscribe, because I sort of volunteer my time to do this. I love doing this, and it lets me know which videos people most like, and it means that when I do release another relevant video to you, you'll know all about it. What have we got here? Payroll. Oh my goodness, payroll is such a nightmare if you don't know what you're doing. And for most roofing guys, they don't know what they're doing. They've got a team of guys. They're like, oh, how do I get them paid? Well, within Xero, there's a function where I can give you a file that you just click on and use your internet banking to pay. And it all takes about 3 minutes for you. I've already done the hard work in the back end. For you, it takes 3 minutes. You log on to internet banking, you press pay, and all your guys get paid. And the amount of money that they should have had withheld for tax gets withheld, and how much money they should be paid in superannuation gets recorded so that you can pay your superannuation on time. Now, it's pretty darn important to pay your superannuation on time. And that's because if you don't, the consequences are so high. You can end up in so many dramas from not getting your superannuation right, which is why your payroll needs to be right in the first place. that's where Xero payroll is, in my opinion, the best, and that's why I love using Xero. Use Xero, not a spreadsheet, not something else. Now, if you've already got another accounting software package, well, don't change for the sake of it. If you are going to change, wait till the first day of July for that changeover time. But the reality is Xero is the best tools for the job. And it's a bit pricier than some software, but you get it back because it saves you time and it saves you money with paying the accountant. It reduces a lot of the tasks that need to be done. So don't shortchange yourself, use the right software, and especially don't do it yourself, the bookkeeping. You know what a do-it-yourself job looks like in the back of someone's backyard. The same as what your accounting looks like when you try and do it yourself. It's bad for your family. It's bad for your time at home. It steals your relaxation time if you're doing all your bookkeeping yourself. Pay someone else to do it would be my best advice. And if you do need someone to do bookkeeping and you don't have someone, well, that's Joel and myself there in that photo. We love helping people and we get it. Okay, this is not our first rodeo, and we're happy to do completely free of charge a 20-minute session working out what exactly do you need. And if you need us, great, we'll happily help. But if there's something else you need, we'll refer you to someone else. Most people we chat with, they're just like completely overwhelmed and they just want a hand, and we're happy to do that.